If it's media, it's news to them. Here's good old JR and Comic Book Man.
Media news, it's a lot like the wind. It consistently blows. Media news, episode 148, The Mystery of the Unfinished.
Hey, here we are. Wow, this thing's getting kind of.
Yeah, every time I try to clean it, though, it just gets dirtier.
Better days, my
You
friend.
might want to run this through the car wash there, Comic Book.
Well, you know what I think. Hey, folks, how you doing? Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. It's time for...
Me getting hit in the chest.
You betcha. What time is it, JR?
It's media news. It's media news.
Media
They
news.
know what time it is. TikTok.
Media news is coming to you from...
This place.
Alternate Reality, which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all new comics, all of them,
All of
are
them?
15% off every day for everyone.
No, you know
JR!
what? This one is not. This is the only one in the whole store that's not 50%.
JR.
What?
Oh, by the way, this is an all comic book version of Media News, episode number
What number?
148.
148. Thank you.
No, you're
Thank you.
just
Episode
haven't-
148.
you know you're
And you know, in the Marvel Universe, I don't know about you, but my favorite character has always been the guy with the big head and the little arms who, when he picks up a Coke, he can't quite get it to his mouth because his arms
Hervé
are so little.
Villechaize?
And yes, Hervé Villechaize. Oh, God, if only he was still alive, this would be perfect.
That
It's
kind of.
basically a fake.
No, MODOK, who of course stands for Mental Organism Designed Only for Killing.
Well, that's a long anachronism.
This is not one of Jack Kirby's more stellar concepts,
Long.
but it's part of the Marvel Universe. And why are we talking about that, JR?
We got nothing else to talk about.
We got nothing else to talk about. We're going to spend an hour talking about MODOK.
We do because
Yes.
they're already gearing up for Captain America's sequel.
Dose.
Yes, to Captain America 2 or whatever they're going to call it, Second Avenger.
Second,
So-
first Avenger, second
Second
movie.
Avenger.
It's called Colonel
Captain America, second Avenger.
Colonel America. He's moving up in the
Yes,
ranks.
Colonel America, second Avenger.
Christopher Marcus, who wrote the first film, is
Yes.
already hard at work on the sequel, and the sequel features the aforementioned MODOK.
Okay, MODOK. Now, who could possibly fill the shoes of such an intricate and amazing character as
Liam
MODOK?
Neeson.
Wow. And
He can play anything.
He can do anything. No.
You know,
Especially if there's a check involved.
Well, you know, they already have somebody in mind, Comic Book Man.
Oh, I'm
For
sure
those
they
of you
do.
that watch
I'm
the
sure.
Game of Thrones on the HBO, if you're not cheap like me and
Oh.
actually pay for the HBO.
I watch it because I need something to put me to sleep every night.
Wow.
I flip it on and I'm there for all of 3 minutes. It's like,
and then I flip it off.
Well, then, da-da-da-da-da.
I wake up like a half an hour later. Oh, it's still on.
Be that as it
Hey,
may,
we'll be
diminutive
that.
star Peter Dinklage, the man
Yes.
who played, he's the high
Tyrion,
challenged, yeah,
yes.
Tyrion.
He's
plays
high
the dwar-
challenged.
The dwarf
Vertically challenged.
is the one that they would like to play MODOK, which seems a little insulting to me as well as Jeff, our cameraman.
Why wouldn't they just CGI him? I mean, he's a great big head with little arms and little legs and a floating chair. Why the hell
Because
don't
it's
you
much
just CGI
funnier
him?
to have Peter Dinklage's face on.
No,
there,
I mean
that's why.
you can CGI him and stick anybody's face in there.
Stick your face in there. Stick my face.
Liam
in there.
Neeson's face in
Liam
there.
Neeson's face in there. But that's Peter Dinklage, and you know what? I suppose if the check is right, why not?
How big do you think the check would have to be for Liam Neeson to put his face on?
Not much. He's in Battleship, for Christ's sake.
God, that's a fabulous trailer. If you haven't seen the Battleship trailer, oh, you gotta see
Go on
it.
YouTube.
You gotta see it.
Go on
It's
the
great.
YouTubes and look for
It's
it.
great.
It's even got the giant red pegs in it.
Yeah.
Got the red pegs. Moving
Okay.
right along.
Next up, if you saw the Star Trek movie, you know that the new Dr. McCoy is also playing Judge
Yes,
Dredd.
Carl Urban, who played Dr.
Carl
McCoy
Urban.
in J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movie, is playing Judge Dredd in the Judge Dredd movie,
Damn it, Jim.
appropriately titled Dredd. D-R-E-D-D.
Brilliant.
Dredd.
Brilliant.
He has confirmed, unlike the previous version of Judge Dredd that we had several years ago with Mr. Sylvester Stallone, who wore the helmet in like one scene, as I recall.
Like 2 scenes and then it was off.
Yeah, for a character in the comic who never removed it.
Yeah. For those of you who aren't familiar with Judge Dredd, he has spent the last 35, 40 years, however long he's been around, wearing a helmet over his head, and you never, ever have seen his face.
Well,
At
guess what?
least I'm pretty sure you never, ever have. I've never seen a panel with it
They've
off.
never
Judge
shown
Dredd fans, Carl Urban, who's playing the lead role, in a great move of very little ego, has said that he does not remove the helmet once in the entire film. He has
Well,
it
God
on the
bless him.
entire time. You will never see the actor's complete face in that. So there you go.
Well, God
True
bless
to the
his-
character.
Yes, true to the character. Very much true to the character. Also,
Unlike Superman without red shorts. But we won't go there, will we?
Oh, I don't want to talk
All
about
right,
Superman
okay.
with red shorts. That's beyond retarded. Lock and Key.
Yes.
Key. For those of you who may remember, back at the beginning of the year, we talked about how Fox was picking up Lock and Key, and they're going to spin it off into a series with the big success of
The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Walking Dead. Lock and Key was being swept up into that. Well, how's it doing?
Well, Lock and Key, an expensive pilot, was made,
Yeah.
and Fox decided we don't like this so much, so they passed on it.
What was wrong with it?
They passed on it. I don't really know. The pilot is out there. You can actually, if you go on some of the torrent sharing sites, and there's clips of it on YouTube. There's actually an extended trailer on YouTube, and it's very good. It looks very good to me, anyway. Dumped by.
Does it look as good as the Wonder Woman pilot that wasn't picked up?
We're
Which
not
you
gonna,
love.
We're not going to go there.
Why
Comic Book
not?
Man.
I hear you
For
loved
those of
it.
you that want to know all about the Wonder Woman David E. Kelly pilot, go to myalternatereality.com. In the
review will
upcoming
be,
weeks.
if the review's not up now, it will be. I'm sure by the time you see this, it'll be up
Yeah,
because I've
yeah,
got it.
because
I've got it.
I've
It'll
seen
be
it thanks to the efforts of this gentleman, and I wanted to gouge my own eyes out after
He
it was
wrote the
over.
review with a machete.
Anywho, Lock and Key was dumped by Fox.
Yeah.
It was then shopped to Sci-Fi,
Siffy.
Sci-Fi,
Yes, Wi-Fi.
who said, no, this is too good for us. Does it have a giant snake
Yeah.
or alligator?
Is
in
there a
it?
giant anaconda in it anywhere?
But they showed this pilot was shown at the San Diego Comic-Con this past year.
Yes.
Who, by the way, MTV had a large presence at the Comic-Con doing a lot of filming.
Okay.
MTV executives saw the Lock and Key pilot and said
Because they happen to be there.
they happened to be there.
Love it!
And they loved it, and they have approached the creators about doing a potential mini-series for MTV.
Cool.
Lock
Okay.
and Key. Yep.
So it'll get picked up.
not dead.
So it's not dead. It's just shifting.
Yes.
Just shifting.
Yes.
Uh,
To the channel without music videos.
remember Frank Miller's 300? Big movie that came out, made a bunch of stars, made a bunch of waves. It was a great film.
Yes.
Lousy history, but it was a great film.
History schmistery.
And of course, they're doing a sequel to it, which
Yes.
we talked about before. It's actually a prequel.
Prequel?
Not
Would
a
have to
sequel.
be, wouldn't it?
Well,
No.
most of them are dead. Although, if you remember the end of 300,
lot of funerals.
you know they talk about future battles that are coming and how the Persians are going to
Sure.
get their butts kicked.
Sure. And giant elephant guys.
But the God, I hope there are more giant elephant guys. But the 300 prequel is still chugging along.
Yes, the battle for Artemisia.
It sounds good to me.
Yes, and apparently there is a small role for Gerard Butler's King Leonidas in it. There's
Is he
going to
kick a guy into a pit?
Yeah, a giant pit.
Stand here.
And apparently the guy can't see behind him. But
He's got to do like 5,000 sit-ups just for one little roll.
Yeah.
he will be the only star in a small role. The rest of the cast will be all unknowns.
Yeah.
Because that means it won't cost as much to make.
Of course not.
But it's coming soon, and with a script by Mr. Frank,
Miller.
based on an upcoming graphic novel by
Yes, Frank Miller. Yes, whose Holy Terror, which is completely unrelated to this, is shipping very soon
Yes.
here at Alternate Reality into a
There's
store near
actually
you.
a trailer for that online. If you go and look for that, a trailer for the
Yeah,
comic book.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the trailer, but I haven't actually watched it yet. But I've seen the
Looks
trailer.
like rubbish. But anyway,
Well, it's a Batman story retooled.
oh, it is.
Yeah, it's Batman.
That's not a
That was a
surprise.
Batman story, and DC read it, and they said, "Why don't you take this and go somewhere with it?" Okay.
Just don't call him Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Batman chasing down Al Qaeda. Seriously, that's what it is. So instead, it's not Batman anymore. It's a guy in a Batman-esque costume with no ears out chasing down Al Qaeda.
From the fertile mind of
Frank Miller.
Yes.
From the Fertile Mind Frank Miller.
Moving right along.
And our last comic book story is not a traditional comic book story, but it is about a superhero, so we're going to fold it in here. Ronnie Howard,
Ronnie.
whose last project was going to be,
The Dark Tower.
which we've talked about before, which sort of
Summarily
went
dumped.
balls up.
Yes.
He's picking up another project called 364. What is 364?
It is about a chap who has superpowers for one day every year. And the title refers to the 364 other days of the year that he uses to determine what it is he's going to do with those powers on that one day that he has every year.
Now, what is his power? Something cheap like turning invisible
I
or
think
reading
it's
minds or something?
Superman-esque powers.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, all-powerful, godlike
Okay.
type of deal. So,
But he's got to get it all done in 24 hours.
yeah, he's
Drops
got to
acid
do it all.
and goes to Great America.
That
He
could work.
squeezes some coal into a diamond.
Yeah.
Takes a gun and bends it.
He goes to the racetrack.
Yeah.
No red shorts, though.
No red shorts. No.
That's stupid.
Red shorts are out. So
Red shorts are stupid.
I mean, that's an appealing project. That could be one of those things that actually gets behind what it means to be a superhero.
They just show him sleeping. He's sleeping through the alarm.
Oh my God, I missed it. I gotta wait another year.
I overslept my superhero day. But it's being
Why did
produced by
somebody
the
wake
usual
me up?
suspects. Brian Grazer is producing for Ron Howard, as he always does. Look for that in 2013.
Okay, and that's it.
That's it. That's all we got.
We're done with Finish Rod here. We've got no more media news,
Welcome
but
back,
you.
sir.
Now, we
can
do
go
have
to-
one piece of news. This book, which wasn't 15% off, is now back to being 15% off. So
Which
he
has
is
nothing to
correct.
do with media news.
Everything in the store is now 15%.
You're not allowed
off.
to take the plastic off.
You can go to the store's website and find
No,
more
you
media
can go.
news at both
You
sides of
can
me that I
go.
post
No,
up.
you
And
go.
where is the store's website
If I
at?
only
Is Sarah
knew.
still doing that?
I don't know. Is she
Yes,
still doing
yes,
it?
sure.
Oh, okay. Sarah.
What, you have to ask me about it? It's your website, www.myalternatereality.com.
So stop off at the store's website, check out all of Bo's media news, and until next time, this. Who am I?
Comic book man.
Oh yeah, comic book man. And this.
I don't know who I am.
Oh, okay. Well, you're Lawson. Saying.
Swell. The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.